Welcome to Anti-Angling. You join us today on the Docks Feeder in Cardiff, at Bute Park, right in the centre of Cardiff. This is. We're trying for chub. Let's see how I get on. We can try to put a couple of bits of meat out first, get them interested.
So the plan today is rather simple. Just going to move up and down the feeder stream, finding some likely spots we think fish may hold out. So we're looking for trees, overhanging bushes, any kind of snags, maybe bends, any little bit of deeper water, anything we think that may hold the fish. Drop a bit of bait in, give it 5-10 minutes, then put a hook bait out, see what happens. Hopefully we get a few fish fairly quickly, but if there's no indication of fish in the swim, no bites, nothing coming out, after maybe 10-15 minutes, certainly 20, by 30 we're going to move next swim and just kind of repeat that process over and over. Don't want to stay in the one spot too long.
Set your landing net up first.
Although this is actually a busy park, people walking past all the time, I think it's still good practice to be a bit sneaky. Try to keep your shadow off the water, tread lightly, keep low, you don't want to spook the fish. So now the waiting game starts. Again, won't leave it too long, just 10-15 minutes, have a couple of casts in this spot. If nothing happens, just try a few yards down. So unfortunately there was no bites in that swim, no indication of fish, I didn't see any, didn't see anything moving. Time to try the next spot. So in this second swim there's a nice overhanging bush. Want to be a little bit careful as there are thick tree roots underneath it. I've lost fish here before, so I cast as close as I dared to it. So it didn't take long to start getting bites. Just very shy bites. The line was moving, the rod tip just very gently as the chub was mouthing the bait, picking it up. Wasn't a very confident take, it was just sat there slowly and then bang. The rod went round a bit more and we're in. Want to be careful of those tree roots as I said, so I run back, pull it out of them roots. Don't want to give it any line, at least till I got it under control out of those roots. Now it's clear of the snags, a lot happier, we're going to get this one in.
No, you're not. There we go. There we go. What was that? 2 minutes?
So this fish took the bait a little bit deeper than I would have liked, but I get the hook out still with my fingers. That's the beauty of barbless hooks, they're so easy to get out.
Well, there we are. Nice little chub, a couple of pounds maybe. That's called a garlic flavoured meat under a bush in slightly deeper water. The bite happened in less than a minute in the water. Again, that's not uncommon with these chub. If you find them, put something they like in their face, they'll take it. So, happy with that one for a start. Let's see if we can get some more though. So what we'll do is we'll release this one a little bit further upstream, as not to disturb the chub that are in there already. Where there's one, there's usually more. And if we rest the swim for 10 minutes, put a little bit of bait out there, there's possibility of another one. So let's see.
Unfortunately, and maybe not surprisingly, there were no more bites in that swim. That first fish kicked around so much it upset everything. So it's time to look for another place to fish. We just move down a few more yards, see what we can find.
So I've seen small fish underneath this bush before, but not in the chub. I can't see if we've got the right, it looks a bit clear really. There's things like that I'm looking for, just slightly deeper water, shadows from the bushes, somewhere to give the fish a bit of cover.
So no bites or any other indications of fish in that swim. So it was time to move to the next one. Don't want to stay in one place for too long.
So what baits do I use to chub fishing in this roving method? Well, one thing I've never leave home without is cheese paste. So especially good when the water's coloured. It's very stinky. It attracts the fish from a long way. That works really well. Another one I really like is luncheon meat. So here I have a few cubes of luncheon meat. These are about centimetre cubes. And what I've done here is flavour it with garlic. So garlic is a very good attractor for chub. They just love it. Again, a very visual and also very smelly bait. So perfect for attracting them. And another bait that I find works really well, particularly on these smaller natural venues, again in flood particularly, are worms. So double worm or so on the hook, very natural bait. Chub used to finding them, picking them up, work really, really well. So other baits you can use are things like bread, prawns, even mussels, sweet corn, particularly in the summer. Don't forget maggots and casters, they all work wonderfully. But what I find is I'll bring a variety of baits, I have 2 or 3 different options. But I don't like to bring too much because I'm afraid that's going to bamboozle me. I don't know what to put on the hook, so 2 or 3, rotate around them, see what works on the day. Can't go far wrong. That looks so fishy, but I'm just not going to get one out of it. There's no room for the rod. It's not worth the risk. I don't want to end up snagging the fish up and damaging it. Okay, so the rig I use is very simple. It's a ledger link rig. So we have a feeder bead, a adrenaline buffer bead with a small swivel. I have 8 inches of line, so that's the same as the main line, and I have 2 SSG shots as my weights. You could up that to 3 or take it down to 1 depending on the flow and how far you're casting. The important thing here I've done is I've tied a very simple, you can see it well, overhand knot in this link. So that'll weaken the line, so it should break at less than 6 pounds. So if this were to get caught up, either the shot are going to pull off or it's going to break around this knot. And then the hook length is 2 foot. I'm using 6 pound line down to a size 10 wide gape hook. So I don't think it can be much simpler than that. Very basic, simple chub rig. So I was hoping the water would be a little bit further up today after the rain we've been having, but it's down. There's a little bit of a colour to it, but not a lot. I was hoping for a bit more of a tinge. It just gives the fish a bit more confidence from feeding, particularly when the water's sort of shallow, these shallow venues. But let's persevere. While it's quiet, I'll just say a few things about the way I set my rod up, and in particular, I like to use snag ears here in my rod rest. So the idea being, is I'm fishing things fairly tight, so if the fish was to pull off rather hard, it's not going to pull the rod off the rod rest. Now, these two ears here are going to stop it coming off. Couple that with an NGT magnetic butt rest. So it's a fairly strong magnet. It'll lift up quite easily when I pick up the rod to relay the fish, but it doesn't move sideways or forwards or backwards very easily. So again, if a fish was to grab the bait and just plow off, this rod isn't going anywhere. I'm not going to lose a rod on a savage take. So I'm gonna have to call it a day now. That'll have to do. We've done okay. We've had one fish out earlier on. We've been leapfrogging between a few different swims, trying to hunt the fish down. But the water's a bit clearer than I was hoping. It's obviously dropped a bit since it had rain last day. Fairly shallow. So I'm happy with the one fish out. Not great conditions, but that's fishing for you.